Hello, Sandoichi.
Hello, CEAZOR. I have come to teach you how to make the miso soup.
Miso soup? Teach me? I don't know, Sandoichi. You're not a very patient guy, and teaching takes a lot of patience.
What are you talking about, CEAZOR? Patience is the first virtue of any good sushi chef.
Oh, okay, I guess we can try. What do I gotta do?
Well, the first thing you need is to make the good broth. You must use no powder, no canned broth. You must use the bone of a wild boar and crush it into powder.
How can I crush the bone into powder?
Just use your hand. Squeeze it until you get the powder.
I don't think I can do that.
Yes, you can, CEAZOR. Just squeeze it, like this.
Oh, wow, that's pretty amazing.
After you cook the broth, you must add the seaweed.
Can I just use any seaweed?
No, you must use the top-grade seaweed. Here is some, put it in.
This is pretty easy.
Yes, it's very easy. Next one, you must add the tofu. The tofu you must cut into 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter cube.
Like this? I cut it here.
No, CEAZOR. That is not a cube. That is a rectangular.
I'm sorry, Sandoichi.
Don't worry, CEAZOR. We'll start over. Here is your new wild boar bone.
Hello and welcome to CEAZOR's Stack Sandwich. Today we're taking a look at MISO. MISO is a product built by SUSHISWAP for new projects. It's quite interesting, so I'll just give you a quick little overview of it and a quick little sneak peek at the UI. It's not fully functional now, it's not fully deployed and permissionless for everyone, but it's still interesting and you can keep an eye on it for future projects. So the first things that they can offer for you is some token. So they allow you to help you to mint your token with a simple user interface. So they have 3 kinds of tokens right now, and I'm assuming they will produce more as time goes. So the first one is a fixed supply. So like I want 10,000 tokens, I get 10,000 tokens. The next one is mintable, meaning that like the token in the future, you could mint more tokens if that's what your project needs or your community. And then the sushi token, which has some like governance staking rights type thing. So some, built-in ability to act as a governance token and so forth, or some other features and so forth. Okay, so they currently have these 3 tokens that you can mint. Then another part of the factory is called the auctions, and this is like to sell your token, pre-sale your token, like an IDO, ICO, and so forth. So there's 3 kinds right now, and they have some more. When you read the docs, you will see that they have some more in the pipeline as well. So we have crowd sale, we have Dutch sale, and batch sale. I'll show you some of these on later when we talk a little bit more inside the UI and so forth. So then they have some liquidity options as well, where they're going to allow you to use the funds made by these sales, these auction sales, to provide liquidity on SushiSwap, so your token can have liquidity for a long time, and this liquidity can be locked and so forth. And I assume that in the future you'll be able to apply to have onsen as well to your liquidity pool that has been built. Okay, now another key thing about this is you can go to the market as a user and actually bid and buy on new projects that are coming out. So this is pretty interesting too. This is not for like new projects who want tokens. This is for investors who are looking for new projects that they want to invest in. So it kind of, both users can come here to take part in this MISO market thing. And if we go down here, we have a few more features. So this is the launcher, basically what I talked about above, about putting the sushi onto SUSHISWAP, or putting your token onto SUSHISWAP into the LPs. We have a fermenter, which is basically like a time locked contract. So like maybe the team tokens, they need to be time locked. So you put them in this fermenter type thing, and it can be locked for a long period of time and so forth, things like that. And then they have some recipes, which would be like kind of like they're taking different components of this and putting it all together into one little package, so that it's a little bit easier for users to use, and they maybe have to pay a little bit less because it will all be one big transaction instead of a whole bunch of individual transactions. So let's go over to the marketplace first. So if you go to Ethereum, you can click through the different you can see here that they are, of course, going to deploy this on all of their blockchains, but as you can see, they're not quite there yet. So here is one project that is currently for sale on the marketplace. You could come in here and you could invest in it. You could say, oh, I want to take part in this. And you could go here and you could see they're using a Dutch auction where, the starting price is high, and the more people buy, whenever people come in, they're lowering the price, and then that becomes the price for the tokens themselves. So it's a reverse Dutch auction. If you don't know how the Dutch auction works, then you need to probably read a little bit more. Now, I do suggest you to read the documentation. It's quite thorough, it's quite good, and it explains all of these different things as well. So here would be where you would decide how many you want to purchase and so forth, and then here you commit, send, and pay the transaction, and send your tokens into this contract, waiting for the contract to end. Now, these Dutch auctions do have an automatic ending, like after when the time ends on this auction, if the person who created this auction can then end it. But if, let's say, he disappears and he just forgets about it, then the actual people who participated in this, who bought some of the tokens, they will be allowed after 14 days to actually end it and get their money refunded or get the tokens that they were supposed to get, and so forth. So here's the time for this current project, but and you can also go in here and see some of the past sales. So we could go in here and see, oh, there were all of these other sales already. Now, these are all projects that actually applied to use this. It's not permissionless in the sense, because as you can see, there's no factory here, there's no recipe button, there's no way for you to build your token right now. You would have to go through the devs and talk to them and ask for permission to do this right now. But it's going to become permissionless in the future. Now, I do have a quick look inside what the factory will look like in the future. And basically, it's quite simple. Like, let's say I wanted to make a token, and I would say, oh, I want to be fixed, mintable, or sushi. Let's say I wanted mintable. I wanted to call my token Caesar's Snack Sandwich, and I wanted it to call it the Caesar token and 10,000, but I want it to be mintable. Then I could deploy, and it would quote me some gas and so forth, and then I would go through the deployments. This is basically to make a new token, right? So the next part, for a new project who wanted to get into this, they could set up their auction in here. And as you can see, it's quite user-friendly. And this is just basically I wanted to show you, you're good. If you want to take part in this, you have to do your research. You have to read through the docs. Like I said, the docs are quite thorough. They're quite good. You can come here and read them and understand what's going on. But as you can see, it's quite user-friendly. Like, oh, if I wanted to my Caesar token to be a crowd sale, I would use crowd sale. And if I wanted it to be a badge auction, I would use the badge auction. So they're different kinds, and they're going to get more and more, and they do have a good explanation here. So take some time to read through them and decide whether or not this is something you're interested in. I like this idea because it's giving users a streamlined way, like non-technical people, to add a token to their project or their community or whatever they're doing. Then they can come here and do this and get liquidity. It's all pretty streamlined, and I like this idea. Of course, I've always thought about making a Caesar token or making some sort of token that but I never do it because there's no use case, and it's quite expensive to deploy these contracts. So if you're going to do this, you better do this. You better think about it carefully before you do so. So that's pretty much it. I would say come here and check out the docs and read the docs quite carefully and understand what everything means, and then keep an eye on it and wait for it to become permissionless. And if you really want, you can contact them and try to figure out how to get into the marketplace already. There's been quite a few sales already, and you could be one of these sales, I guess. And there's currently this one live sale, the non-fungible Bible. I'm not exactly sure. I didn't look too deep into it, but it seems to be just basically like a book full of NFTs. But anyways, thanks so much for watching, and goodbye.